Welcome back to Schullites, folks. EBL is a company that makes batteries, and they contacted me and asked me to review their battery products. And I said, hey, go ahead and send me some common sizes used in flashlights. So we've got a nickel metal hydride AA battery here. It's 1.5 volts. Then we've got a 14500. This is lithium ion, and this is an INR, and it's 3.7 volts. And then I asked for them to send me some 18650s, very common battery that we use in flashlights. I've never worked with this company before, and these are readily available on Amazon. And generally, I'm skeptical. I'm not editing this video. This is staying in. I am skeptical of the ratings and types of batteries I see on Amazon. They're usually just overrated and junky. So what I did was I took their cells here, and let me adjust there we go. And I threw them in my MC3000 charger, and I charged them manually and then discharged them to 2.5 volts. And I did it that way. And then also I did it with the built-in programming logic of a charge-discharge cycle in the MC3000 in case there was any differences. And so this is what I got. So notice I got two 18650s and the two 14500s. The 18650s were around 2200, and you see that on the other style of discharge, it was the same kind of thing. And the 14500s got around, let's see here, they got around 800, 820. Now, what does that mean? Well, okay. At first, I was a little worried. Not for the 14500s. They did exactly what they were rated. Oh, actually more. So that's great. These were perfect. But these worried me a little because they were rated 3000 and I was getting 2200. And I'm like, what gives? Then I realized when I looked at the results, because I did it several times, I thought I was messing up. I realized that when the battery discharge was finished, they were at 3 volts. And I went, why are they so high? I need them around 2. Now, listen, if they go down to 2.5, they're going to rebound when they're not under stress. So commonly they should be about 2.8 or something like that. But 3.0 is pretty high. And then I realized that these, and it says right here, they're protected circuit cells. So what does that mean? Well, if you want, typically we don't want protected circuit cells in our lights, right? Typically. But it turns out that the reasons you wouldn't want one probably are okay on this cell. Let me explain. Typically you don't want it because they're longer. But this is a Sony, unprotected, Sony Murata VTC6A, and you can see that this cell is just barely any longer, okay? So that's not an issue. And in fact, this cell fits fine in my KR1 here, which is a light that doesn't want button top protected cells. So this is fine size-wise. Now, the other reason you wouldn't want it is sometimes a protected cell will trip when you have a light that needs FET, when it just direct drive and it dumps, amps. That's not happening in my lights. I'm finding that it's not tripping. Now, I noticed that when it was lower, like around storage charge or less, and I hit FET, then sometimes it might trip a little. So be careful about that. Well, it's not a problem, right? It's actually protecting the cell. That's the whole job of it. But I just want you to know that when it's fully charged, no issue, even with FET on a really, bad A light, I'll say, like this KR1 with a modified SBT 90.2. All right, let's take a look. Now, this is the creme de la creme, the Sony Murata, right? And this cell will put out about 5,000 lumens in this light. So let's take a look really quickly. We're in the final minute of our 5-minute video, so let's get this done. So if I click and double click, and this times 10, you see it hits 5,400 for a moment, then it drops down. Okay, let's get that protected cell in there and see how it does. It's gonna do less, because remember, it's not a high discharge cell, and it's gotta go through that protection circuit. But let's see how it does. If it does anything over 4,000, I would call that a win for a protected cell. Let's take a look, and click and double click. All right, right out about 4,000. It was about 3,900. So there you go. Let me try one more time. Ramp up and double click. Yeah, I didn't do it. Okay. Ramp up, double click. Yeah, right around 3,800, 3,900. So there you go. So this is not the cell that I would recommend for your highest discharge lights. But I mean, if you want something that has protection, and I know that there's some users that just ask for that. They say, hey, that's what I want. Then I would recommend this. And I guess I'm a little over time, about 10 seconds over, but I want to say that EBL, at least from the sample they sent me, these batteries are performing. So if you want a readily accessible battery on Amazon, EBL could be a good way to go. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.